Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to talk about research, a particular study that I love. If you've been following me now for a while, you know how much I love research and evidence-based knowledge. So I promise I'll make it quick and simple, but you wanna listen to this one because I'm going to explain why midwifery-led continuity models of care are the best choice for you if you're having a low-risk pregnancy. But stick with me also if you are not low risk. Let's start. Hello future parents, welcome back to my channel. Whether you are at the beginning of your pregnancy, whether you're trying to get pregnant, or if you are pregnant right now, you have to listen to this video from the beginning to the end because I'm going to tell you some shocking but not surprising for me results that this study had. This is a study that was done in 2016 by Jane Sandel and other researchers. It is in the Cochrane database of the systematic review, which is one of the most known database of healthcare and medicine research that collects systematic reviews and meta-analysis, meaning systematic reviews are the studies that are way up the higher top of the hierarchy in the validity and the importance of a study because they collect other studies inside them that have been screened for quality assessment, for methodology, for the way they've been conducted, for the results, and then they do a statistical mathematical combination of the results in order to give us the best evidence available to us in that moment. So I'm really thankful to this research because this is the study that we've been waiting for. We, as a midwife, we knew already these things, but obviously to improve care, to change practice, you need to have it backdated by research. So I'm very, very thankful that this is now outside in the world, out to the public for everyone to listen to. If you don't know me already, I am Ilenia and I'm a midwife myself. I've been a midwife for now nearly 7 years. I've been working all over the world and I'm currently based in the United Kingdom, where I'm lucky enough to say that the midwifery-led continuity model of care is quite spread and used. A lot of women in the UK know what a midwife is and they know that they have to go to a midwife when they're pregnant if they've been well and healthy outside their life in general. I'm going to tell you more about it. First of all, let's start to say, what is a model of care really? Well, there are different ways to look after the well-being of a pregnant woman during their pregnancy, during their birth, and also to their fetus, unborn child, and then to their baby. These ways are called model of care, and different countries have different approaches. We have countries that use a share model where GP, family doctors are involved with midwife and doctors. Other countries that, unfortunately too many, that have obstetric-led models of care where the obstetrician is the primary provider for women. And then other countries where there are different options and where a midwife is the team leader of the team. So there is a bunch of midwives together that they work together privately, like a self-employed, or under the hospital if you're lucky enough to have a hospital that provides this model of care. These midwives work together, they have a caseload of women that they follow during their pregnancy, they are with them during their birth, and also they care for them in the postpartum period. So you are going to be linked with a particular midwife, but you know them all in your team, and you're mostly likely to have this known and trustable midwife during your birth and in the postpartum period. This is a midwife that you've been knowing for 9 months. She knows you, you know her, you trust her, you've been building a relationship, and this has incredible, invaluable results and effect into your pregnancy, birth outcomes. I'm going to tell you what they are. This study has shocking and amazing results. This research compare midwifery models of care with other models of care, and they really wanted to see if these women, I'm talking about 674,000 women divided in 15 trials. They've been looking at outcomes such as cesarean birth, instrumental birth, analgesia, episiotomy, preterm labors, and they found out that women that received midwifery-led continuity models of care were less likely to experience regional analgesia, meaning epidural. They were less likely to have instrumental vaginal births, such as forceps or ventouse birth, where the doctor has to use an instrument to get the baby out. They were less likely to experience preterm birth, meaning labor that starts before 37 weeks, and this has in its own different complications and adverse outcomes possibly. They were less likely to have fetal loss, meaning to lose their baby before 24 weeks, and also to have less neonatal deaths. They were more likely to have vaginal births, meaning not assisted spontaneous vaginal birth. And they also were less likely to experience artificial rupture of membranes, meaning a myotomy. They were less likely to experience episiotomy. Also looks like that midwifery models of care have a trend towards a cost-saving effect into maternity care in general compared to other models. And this is not surprising because obviously it's a model that promotes physiology and uses less intervention and therefore less resources when these are not needed. A midwife can really make a difference into your pregnancy and birth. I can proudly say that I advocated so many times for women in order to make them have what they wanted, to make their choice heard. Therefore, I really believe in the midwifery model of care. I think is the one we should all go forward, and I think is really the best one for low-risk women. However, if you're having a pregnancy complicated by some diseases, some complications that I mentioned before, you still need a midwife. Here in the UK, also a medium or high-risk pregnancy where the obstetrician is the leader of the team. This team also have midwife within their teams, and this is so great because not just because you're deemed high risk or medium risk, you should not receive the care of a midwife. We are two different professions, obstetrician and midwife, that work together but have different scope and different roles. So not just because you are not having a straightforward pregnancy, you should be cut off from midwifery care. So make sure that in your team of doctors there are midwives that you can link with and that you can get the most out of them, because you really need them anyway during their pregnancy for antenatal care, but during your birth the midwife is still going to be the one delivering your babies. If you have a high-risk pregnancy, even you can still achieve a normal spontaneous birth with the presence of a doctor, or maybe not, but you can still have a midwife as your primary birth provider. And also for your postpartum period, because maybe you are a high risk during your pregnancy but you're not postpartum, you still need a midwife. So please make sure that you have one. If your country does not provide this model of care, I would highly recommend you to invest in a private one, because it's really going to have hugely, immensely positive outcomes into your well-being in general in that moment of your life, but also in the future. In the conclusion, this study says that women that receive midwifery-led continuity models of care were less likely to experience interventions during their childbirth journey and more likely to be satisfied with their experience. And the outcomes are at least comparable with other models of care. Therefore, this model of care is at least as safe as other models of care, but it's pretty clear to me, I can't say that in the study, but it's pretty clear to me that for certain outcomes, this model is even safer for low-risk women. For a low-risk woman, I mean a woman that is usually fit and well outside pregnancy, and where their pregnancy is not complicated by other things that can happen during pregnancy, like diabetes, high blood pressure, placenta previa, obstetric cholestasis, and the different things, where the pregnancy is straightforward and not complicated, then you should be really considering being followed by a midwife during your journey. You can find this team of midwife in their hospital. Just be informed in which hospital you can find them. There are different models of care within the hospital. You can have your baby in the birth center that can be alongside, meaning within the hospital or even as a freestanding birth center. There are so many around all over UK if you're lucky enough to live and have a pregnancy in the UK, but also thankfully other countries in Europe are using this approach. I'm mentioning the Netherlands, France. There are some models of care like that in Belgium, in the Scandinavian countries. Thankfully, is becoming slowly more popular, and I think is the future. I think like women should really make aware of these results, and also government should make aware of this, because they can really invest in these models of care and it can really impact their citizen well-being and the satisfaction of the women living and having babies in that country. So please, if you find this video helpful, share with someone, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next video. Bye bye.